Yo ho ho, good morning everybody. Today I'm here with a different type of video. As you can see from the title, this is 5 things I personally want for Madden 21's franchise mode, career mode, anything in that category where you can do franchises, whether it's online, single player, whatever, cloud, offline, does not matter. Before we hop into it, comment down below 1, 2, 3, however many things you want implemented in Madden 21's franchise mode. And I'm gonna go through my 1 through 5 and see if you agree with mine or if you like mine or dislike mine. So let's go straight into it. Coming in at number 1 is a better overall career mode. Madden's career mode has been very bad. It's pretty much the same thing every single year with updated graphics, so on and so forth. Madden has never had a good career mode and is very evident. They have tried recently to make things work, like Long Shot and Face of the Franchise. Long Shot was pretty rough, and Face of the Franchise had a good couple games and cutscenes, but after those few games in college and stuff, you're straight up into what a regular career mode is, so it's not like it's that big of a deal. Something that can make franchise mode a lot better is if they made a player career mode that's more entertaining. My biggest proposal is to have something like what NBA 2K does with their My Career and My Park. In Madden terms, you can create a player at any position. You then can upgrade any type of stats, whether it's throwing stats like for a quarterback, block shedding for a defensive end or outside linebacker, or whatever you want. You can then play regular career mode games like the NFL, like they have right now in the game. Another twist that you could have is that you can play 7-on-7 games like My Park in 2K, or you can play Pro-Am type games where you play 11-on-11, 11 versus 11 in 2K. As your creative player, you would play offense and defense in the games, so you don't have to sit out any time. You would play, just for an example, you create a wide receiver in the game and you have a vertical threat archetype on him. You would play wide receiver in the career mode games in the NFL, but you would have the ability to upgrade throwing stats and stuff like that to play quarterback, possibly in the Pro-Am and My Park games. Now this is a little bit hard to maybe do, and it sounds like kind of silly. I mean, you could do it where you position lock someone, so if they're a receiver, they can only play receiver in the 7v7 or the Pro-Am games. That's completely fine. Now, it's not the best idea to have your quarterback for your team be a receiver. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. This can help bring so many people to the franchise, and as a company, Madden, you can easily make a lot of money off of it with microtransactions. Just add a new currency in the system so you upgrade your player with that currency. It's very simple. Another idea is that you could have it so you create an offensive and defensive player in that aspect of you create like one player overall, and then you could use them for your career, and that's your main player, but you create a defensive version of him for the Pro-Am and the Park, quote-unquote, Park 7v7 games. Overall, I feel like this is the hardest one to implement into the game because it's such a big jump compared to what career mode is now. But we need something that's more expanded and storyline based in career mode, rather than just every week an X Factor person is talking to you and being like, oh, you're not ready for my heat. Like, come on, it's the same thing every week. And just the career mode, it's so bland. It's just game after game. There's nothing like interesting in it when I play. And as a person who does career mode often and I like it, it can be so much better. 2K's career mode and stuff is so much better than Madden's career mode. And I'm just being completely honest. That's just my opinion on it. We need a better career mode, and yeah, that's no doubt about it. We need a better career mode in Madden 21. Coming in at number 2 is the expansion draft. We need expansion drafts to be able to be added into Madden 21, actually, it doesn't need to be an expansion draft, just the ability to add more teams into a franchise. We've been stuck with 32, and then you have the relocation that happens. So you have about like 40 different options, quote unquote. And then even if you're only allowing us to add in those relocation teams, even if those are the expansion teams for the game, that's good enough. Expansion teams will give the franchise users who like do rebuilds, long-term stuff like that, it'll give them more opportunities and stuff. It'll be much more challenging because you're not gonna have good players to build around, because almost every team has that good player to build around or play with. If you have an expansion draft, your highest overall player may be only in the 80s, or a big contract player in the mid 80s and 90s. Expansion draft is just gonna let people be more diverse with their teams and stuff. It'll let people create their own teams, let their creativity flow through Madden. Madden has very limited creativity. Adding roster classes in Madden 20 was a very good idea, or a draft class, I should say. And like that's the only thing they've added, really, like creativity wise. Like you can create rosters and draft classes, and those are the only big things. Like you can make your own playbooks, but that's for the dedicated users. And as me, I'm not dedicated like that, but that should definitely stay in the game. There's no cons to it. But yeah, expansion teams will help out it'll make the franchise mode bigger and just more, you'll have more ability to do stuff. And if you have expansion teams and a creative player, that would be so cool. Like just imagine being a creative rookie on an expansion team, and you're like you're not even like one of the bad people on the team. You're gonna be like an average player because everyone else is expanded. It's an expansion roster. Everyone else is kind of bad. Like that'll just make things so much better in Madden. I feel like expansion teams can definitely be added. It's not hard to add them, but definitely should add them into the game. It'll be very helpful for people who play franchise mode. Coming in at number 3 is not fully based off of franchise mode. It's more or less the whole game, but it would definitely be implemented in franchise mode a lot. And it goes hand in hand with the expansion draft / adding new teams. And it's just jersey designs, stadium designs, and stuff like that. Those are the two biggest ones. So the ability to create your own jerseys, create your own stadium, whether it's in the franchise mode, and then like you can you create this jersey in franchise mode as an owner, and then you'll have fans like grade it or whatever and see if they like it or not, and that'll implement so much more like little details into the game. And then you don't even have to do it like that. You could do it just so you can create jerseys and stadiums and then upload them to the community files. People can download them and play with them in franchise mode. And EA, if you're somehow watching this, I highly doubt you are, but you can make money off of this also. You can put them into Ultimate Team and then have people have to buy them with your Madden bucks or whatever. I don't pay money into this game except for buying the game. But yeah, you can make them so people have to buy them to use them in Ultimate Team. Or you could just be able to let the people use them in franchise mode. This will let people use possibly like retro jerseys that aren't in franchise mode, or just create new jerseys for a new team, a new expansion team in franchise mode. This will let people be creative yet again. And people aren't allowed to have their creativity really in Madden. You don't have a lot to do. In 2K, when you create an expansion team, you can create an entire arena, so a stadium or whatever, and you create your jerseys. You create 3 total jerseys in your stadium. It can be pretty like soft and subtle at the beginning where you don't have to create like every little detail, but even if you could just create the stadium and just make it like small and little like improvements, like the stadium quote unquote creator they have for relocating right now is so stupid. It's just so pathetic. Like it's just like, oh, you upgraded from level 1 to level 2, like okay. Let people create their own stadiums to be able to use in franchise mode so it's more like personalized and stuff, so on and so forth. It'll be so much better. Coming in at number 3 is a better trade block / trade system for franchise users. The trading system in Madden is very buggy. There's some trades that you'll see on the screen that are very unrealistic. They should be happening, honestly. Like, there's trades, like you could trade 399 overall players for Patrick Mahomes and he won't get traded because he's untouchable. Now, some teams may have players untouchable and stuff. Like Patrick Mahomes, yeah, it's a little bit of like, okay, I understand why they don't want to trade Patrick Mahomes. But there's some players just in the game that are weirdly untouchable. Like, you'll find like this random 85 overall player who's untouchable, and it doesn't matter what you trade him, he won't get traded. So that's one thing. Another aspect of this is you can only trade 3 pieces in a trade at a time. And that's just like, that's not enough. If you can upgrade this, even if it's only to 4, but preferably like 5 or 6, so then you can make big time trades where you can put in two players, 3 picks, and then make a big move in franchise modes to get like a superstar player that is available for trade. This has literally 0 cons to adding more trade pieces, adding more like a bit more players to trade per trade. 3 is not enough. It needs to be upgraded to 4, 5, 6, something like that. And the final thing in the trading system is the trade block. The trade block in Madden is atrocious. It barely works, and the trades you get out of it are terrible. The trade block in 2K is very good. It's easy to navigate, and you don't have to wait time. The trade block in Madden, you have to like simulate weeks or something like that. And it's just like, what's the point? What's the point of trade block? Like, when you realize you can't like trade the player right away. That's what you want to do. You put someone on the trade block or trade finder, I should say, in 2K, and then it could be all the teams in the league or just the teams that want to trade for the player, and they throw them their own trade for it. And the trades are like pretty even. Like, you'll see on the screen of like the even trades it has. Like, you're not gonna get like highway robbery most of the time, but you're not gonna get highway robbed. So yeah, it's just, you need a better trading system, trading block, trade finder. That's the biggest aspect of it. Yeah, just add trade finder, that's good, trade block, so on and so forth. Because trading is one of the biggest things in a franchise mode, especially when you're playing like with your buddies online and you have a big franchise with people. If you can make big trades like that, yeah, and if you're playing single player, that's when you can't do, the untouchables don't mean anything. So you just need to do stuff better with trading overall. It's kind of lackluster. What I do like though is seeing the bar fill up to see how much people, how much they like the trade. It would be good if you could have it where the teams submit trades back. Like, if you're really close, so you're in like 90%, and then all they want back is like a 4th round pick, just have the teams give back a 4th round pick on like your side, and then boom, the trade goes through if you want to do it like that. That'll be so much easier, so people don't have to waste time and then maybe overpay too much. But yeah, that's all about the trading system. Alright, the 5th and final aspect that needs to be implemented into Madden is a better scouting system. These pictures I'm going to show for the next whatever are by Deuce Douglas. He is a YouTuber. His channel link will be in the description. Hopefully I remember that. If it's not in the description, just search up Deuce Douglas. Yeah. So the scouting system is pretty bad in Madden. You can scout a player 3 times and you see 3 attributes and they'll be graded like A, B, or C, D, or whatever. It's pretty bad. Like, you could scout a linebacker and it's like A, tackling, B+ play rec, B, awareness. Like, ooh, that doesn't show anything of how good he is. That can be like, a high schooler can be a good tackler and be aware and stuff. You need to have more in-depth and details of it. So you'll see stuff like what this guy, his pictures that he made are super in-depth and I love them a lot. Being able to see like the pros and cons of a player, like what they do really well, what they do really bad, and it's like written descriptions of it. And then you'll just see like in-depth analysis, and it'll be like really good on slant routes, but can't run comeback routes. So like something like that, even if it's just something small, that'll be good, because if someone sees that they can't run comeback routes and their play style in Madden is to run curls and stuff like that, then they won't draft that guy most likely. There's just gonna be a bunch of charts, and you'll see more in-depth details of everything that happens in the scouting system. The pictures are pretty self-explanatory, but also you'll see stuff like the ceiling and floors of players, where they may be in your depth chart if you draft them. And then also, this is the one I want the most, is being able to see like college and high school career resumes and games. Being able to see like how good a player was in college, like seeing that they won some certain award, like being the best wide receiver in like the Pac-12 or something like that. I don't even know. Like something like that is just really like neat to see, and you can't see that in Madden unless, I don't even know if you can, honestly. I don't think you can. But yeah, if you can do something like you could see their accolades, you can see their stats in college, you'll get a better feel for what the receiver's like, and then see how he competes against his former like players that will also be like former college athletes that are also in the draft or in upcoming drafts. So there's like, it's just something that will help out scouting, help out the draft day and all that stuff. That process is really big. Just the pictures will show a lot of in-depth details of what it could be. You can look through the pictures. There's a lot more on Deuce Douglas's YouTube channel, and he has like a whole video on scouting. And that'll probably detail a lot more than what I said. So you should definitely go check that one out. But yeah, those are the 5 things I want implemented in Madden 21. There's so much more that I want implemented in franchise mode. And will any of these be added in? Probably not. Maybe 1. If we're lucky, there'll be 2. But it's Madden. They only care about Ultimate Team, really, because Ultimate Team brings them in money. Franchise mode doesn't bring in money. It's just pathetic. They need to do better with this. We've been wanting franchise mode updates. I've been playing Madden since Madden 16. We've been wanting them since Madden 16. So yeah, it's probably been tens of years. You can go back to Madden like 2010, whatever, back then, and then it is the same exact franchise mode. There's some better graphics, there's different rosters, that's it. We need updated franchise. Whatever they throw at us, we'll accept it. We're desperate. Us franchise users are desperate. So yeah, comment down below things you want in Madden 21's franchise mode. And that's all for me. I'm out, everybody. Peace.